Ho, 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 and welcome back to the living room. I'm Dr. Wiggo, and today I'm going to be telling you a Christmas story. Although, full disclosure, the story's going to start as a Christmas story, and then it's going to kind of, the way my stories do, just wander off. Let me explain. So when I was 10, 11 years old, I was in Amahl and the Night Visitors at Christmas. I played Amahl, the lead role. But before we get to that, let me just go back a little bit. When I was growing up, we had a piano because my mom loved to play the piano. And so I liked to play on the piano, and I was pretty good at playing by ear. So my mom got me piano lessons, which started me down the musical path. So back to Christmas of 1964, when I would have been 11. I got picked to play Amahl in Amahl and the Night Visitors at my church. And it was a big deal. We rehearsed, I think I started rehearsing in like July for a Christmas show. They had to train me to sing operatically. It was tons of fun. My sister was in it. My family was proud of me. It was a wonderful experience. I met a lot of fantastic people. And now the story will go off the rails and not be so much about Christmas anymore. After I did Amahl and the Night Visitors, the woman who played my mother, which is the female lead in the opera, well, she got cast in the local little theater production of Sound of Music. So she recommended me to audition for one of the children. I'm Friedrich. I'm 15. I'm a boy. Except I wasn't 15. I was like 12. Anyway, I digress. So I got the part in The Sound of Music. Amahl introduced me to the joys of performing, but The Sound of Music introduced me to the joys of performing on stage, multiple shows. I think Amahl, we only did a couple of shows, but this, ran for a few weekends. Plus, I discovered at my young age of 12, there's a lot of pretty girls in theater. So around this time, I also started a band with some of my friends at my elementary school. I played organ, because remember, we had a piano and I was a keyboard. I could play keyboards. My mother had this old organ that had chords, and so I could play chords and melodies. And so we were like a Beatles cover band and, other cover band. We played on local TV. We were quite the big deal. Again, love music, love performing. But then, if you remember from last Christmas story, my dad was a Sears store manager, so we moved around a lot. So after a few years of doing this, we moved to another city, and I got to start over. And I met a guy, Gus Perez, who was a fantastic guitar player, and I started another band. So I had my band with Gus in junior high, and then I went to high school. Gus went to a different high school, so we kind of split up. But I met another guitar player, Robbie Vaughn, and I started another band. By the way, both Gus and Robbie were fantastic guitar players. I mean, for being so young and everything. And I lived like 2 doors down from Stan Moore, who was the drummer in a band called the Zachary Thacks, which was like a local band that they had regional singles that charted. And I used to go just hang out with them, sit and watch them rehearse, and I was like their mascot. So I was really around music all the time. But then when I went to high school, I had a girlfriend, it's always a girl, who was into the little theater there. So she dragged me into that. So I started working in the little theater and doing I generally played small parts, or basically I worked set crew and lighting. I did lighting for The Odd Couple. I did sets for Once Upon a Mattress, and it was a fun time. But then in 1970, the little theater did a show called Your Own Thing, which was a rock musical. And if you heard it now, you wouldn't think it was a rock musical, but it was kind of rock. It was like Donnie and Marie. It was a little bit about rock and roll. And I got cast, and I played one of the band guys and guitar player, and there's probably pictures of me going around on the screen. And I had a wonderful time. But then I got kicked out of high school and went away to New York to live with my brother and sister-in-law. Long story, I'll tell it some other time. But I ended up getting into college up in New York. And I was gonna be a math major, but again, I was a drama guy, so I took drama courses, and I ended up being a drama major. Well, my freshman year, there was a senior named Meryl Streep. Perhaps you've heard of her. Multiple Academy Award winner. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and we did shows together and got to be friends and used to hang out. Fantastic person, by the way. And by the way, yes, in college, we all knew she was as good then as she ended up being. I mean, she was just good from possibly from birth. I only met her when she was like 21 or 20. By the way, in college, I also had a band, started another band. We ended up with some pretty cool guys. Our keyboard player went on to be the CEO of the largest ad agency in the world many years later. Unfortunately, he passed away from cancer. Great guy, Ken Case. You can Google him. And I had a couple other guys in the band who went on to be roadies for Orleans. And I would see them as they tour the country. If they ever came to a town I was in, they would call me and we'd go hang out. Now, I also did winters at the Asolo Opera Theater in Sarasota, Florida, while I was in college, which is mainly run by a bunch of people that used to work for the circus, the Barnum and Bailey, because their winter home was Sarasota. So all these fantastic people from the circus, I love it. And while I was in college, I did summer stock in North Conway, New Hampshire, the Mount Washington Valley Repertory Company, where I met and worked with people like Gordon Clapp, who went on to NYPD Blue and Deadwood and a whole bunch of other stuff, and David Strathairn, who went on to A League of Their Own and The Expanse, and he's been in everything. He's just a fantastic actor. And by the way, again, was when we were kids in summer stock. By the way, my favorite thing about David Strathairn was that he was originally a clown in the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. So we used to bond over that because I had worked with all the circus people and he knew some of them. It was a great summer stock company. My friend Carol Dudley worked there, and she went on to be a big casting director in Hollywood. And through her, I met all sorts of stars, Anson Williams and Ron Howard and Jonathan Winters and Robin Williams. And her office was on the Paramount lot while they were, and this is back when they were filming Mork and Mindy and Happy Days. So I got to meet all those people. It was a fabulous time. So college was a wonderful time for me. I was pursuing my dreams into theater, and I was playing music, and I just had a great time. And then I graduated and couldn't get a job. So I went to business school, and then that led down the whole path to where I ended up, teaching business and doing all this stuff. And I never really went back to my theatrical roots. When I was working on Wall Street, I tried to produce a couple of plays. I got involved with a couple of plays with some friends of mine from back in my theatrical days, and they never panned out. But I met some interesting people. The guy that was going to direct one of the plays I was trying to produce was this guy Paris Barkley, and you can go IMDb him, and he's just exploded since then. Fantastic director. That was the end of my theatrical and musical careers. Amahl and the Night Visitors was 1964, and I got out of college in 1975. I had a good 10 years of pursuing my dreams and acting and singing and dancing and set design and all that cool stuff. And then I got a real job. Because to tell you the truth, I wasn't that great an actor. I wasn't that great a set designer. I was okay. I was fine. But that's not going to get you anywhere, so I knew I had to move on. So I went on and did the computer thing. And so what did that have to do with Christmas? It all started with Amahl and the Night Visitors, a Christmas opera, which I highly recommend, by the way, if you've never seen it. I just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas, tell you a little Christmas story. For those of you who come to my channel for the stories, well, this was all story. For the rest of you, you're not even watching this. Why am I talking to you? You're not here. So starting next week, New Year's Eve, we'll be back to something. Some gear to do. I got some computer stuff to do. I got lots of stuff to do. And latest rumor, Apple Vision Pro is supposed to be out in February. So hopefully in January I'll be able to order it. There'll be more videos about that. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a happy holiday season, whatever you believe, whatever you celebrate, just go out and have a good time, see your family, and I'll see you here next time maybe. So thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye. Just sitting in front of the fireplace, waving goodbye. Don't know why I keep waving. Well, thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.